Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Gramoglia, the President and CEO here at Woodland Pond. And this is my weekly address for a Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. I have a good mix of calendar items and items from the rumor mill and suggestion box today. But before we get started with that, we've got some fun announcements to bring to you. Some things that have come to our campus just today, as a matter of fact, that are really exciting. Our new saltwater aquarium for the health center lobby arrived today. And if you were to go over and look at the saltwater aquarium in the health center lobby today, you would just see water in it. There's a process by which the water has to cycle and get to a certain, I don't know, pH or something. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this. We have hired an expert to maintain and manage the fish tank, but it will take about a week for the water to get to where it can start accepting fish. And we will get what they're referring to as starter fish next week. This is, again, a saltwater tank with the expectation that it will have tropical fish. We made that decision intentionally, even though that's a little bit more expensive because we felt, especially since the target audience, well, will be everyone, but primarily our residents in the health center, we felt vibrancy and color was really important with getting the fish tank in. Once we get everything situated and set, we will be looking at seating elements so that folks can sit near the fish tank and enjoy that. But that was sponsored actually by the Woodland Pond Benefit Fund. And I'd like to thank the Benefit Fund very much for helping this vision come to fruition. I think it's going to bring a lot of joy to a lot of people. And again, I'd like to thank the Benefit Fund for your contributions to bringing our fish tank to us. We also took delivery of our new golf cart today. Our prior golf cart, actually, the battery had gotten to the point where it was no longer chargeable. And that does happen with these kinds of rechargeable batteries. It's really important to maintain a good battery life with these things, but even with that, our golf cart with multiple battery replacements and charger replacements just wasn't able to maintain its battery anymore. I think it was about 8 years old or so, so not totally unusual, but we were able to trade that in, and we did receive our new one this morning, and already I've seen communication flying around about how we can use our new golf cart to help residents go down to the observation platform on the new trail system. Golf carts are a perfect opportunity for this, so we're going to come up with some ideas of ways that we can transport residents using the golf cart down to the actual Woodland Pond, and we're looking forward to that. Very exciting. On that note about the pond, not sure if most folks are utilizing the trails, but for those that do, you've probably noticed that particularly if you go to the observation platform and kind of stand there for a bit, you will see a pretty good mix of bird life. And that includes the geese that have taken up residency somewhere near the pond or on the pond, as well as many other things. Just in one of my walks last week, I, of course, saw all of the geese and then also a couple of hummingbirds and a cardinal right there at the observation platform, all very active. And it brought an idea to me that it might be a fun thing for us to start a bird watching club of some sort. And so I've advanced that discussion to Carrie to take to the activities committee. And I'm hoping that maybe that's something that residents would enjoy. And even if you've never done it before, we have so much wildlife here on campus, and birds are just, really remarkable. So maybe there will be a bird watching club here at Woodland Pond coming to you very soon. Some calendar items. We will be hosting Peter Brown's Wanderlust Rhythm Travel and Music Program this coming Wednesday in the Great Room at 3 p.m. And Sue Close, who is our activities manager for the health center, wanted us to take note of the fact that Peter's world travels are beautifully captured in photos and accompanied by narration and music, and that everyone is welcome to join. Again, that is on Wednesday in the Great Room at 3. On Friday, the health center residents will be enjoying a happy hour in the Great Room at 3:30. If you are an independent living resident and we're hoping to join that, you are asked to please sign up by this Thursday. You do need to call the activities department to do that in the health center. And that is at extension 5917. You can always call concierge or reception and ask them to transfer you to health center activities, and they can help you sign up. We have congratulations in order for Sarah Motherway. Sarah has spent some months, maybe approaching a year, as one of the program coordinators, or the primary program coordinator for our programming in Garden View. She has recently applied for and now accepted a position in our social services department. And we know that Sarah has been instrumental in helping to advance the programming in our memory care setting. She will still have a role that is completely centric onto the health center in her new role as one of the new social workers in the health center. We're very excited about this. Sarah has done fantastic work for Woodland Pond, and we're excited to see her stepping into this new role. We will be backfilling her position as the program lead for Garden View. So there will be postings available for that job. If you know someone that might be in the market, or if we have an internal candidate that you think would be great for that position, it really kind of helps to bridge the psychosocial needs of the residents, the recreation, the fitness, and sort of helps the Garden View unit to run day to day, not so much from a nursing side, but from the way that life can become enriched. So if you know somebody that might be interested in that position, they do not need to have a nursing or clinical background for that. Tonight at 7:15, we have theater night with Fred and Joe. This is their 10th theater night here on campus, so we're very excited about that. Thursday at 11 a.m., the brain health team has asked that you join them for a speaker named author Lila Yashjan, and she's going to be speaking about her book, which is entitled My Years as an Alzheimer's Caregiver. This certainly, I'm sure, resonates with a lot of our residents and our family members here on campus, or those that don't live on campus but have a loved one here that is suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia or any of the other cognitive impacting disorders or disease processes. So we hope that you enjoy that program. On Thursday at 1:30 in the PAC, we ask that you join Sarah Russell from the Hudson River Maritime Museum, and she's going to come and speak about the museum's history, their exhibits, their guest lecture series, the Solaris, which is their 100% solar powered boat, and ways that Woodland Pond residents can become involved in the Maritime Museum. Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in the classroom, we will have volunteers here from the Lifetime Learning Institute, which is affiliated with SUNY New Paltz, and they will be here to help any residents that need assistance with online registration. So if you're interested in taking a Lifetime Learning Institute or LLI class in this upcoming semester, these are adult continuing ed. There are costs associated with some of them. When we didn't have such a demand on our calendar and on our spaces, we used to actually be a host site for LLI. And it's something that I'm hoping that maybe with the expansion and the renovation that we're able to, at least in some fashion, do again in the future. But for right now, residents are encouraged to attend those classes. Again, it's affiliated with SUNY New Paltz, no affiliation with Woodland Pond, other than that we used to be a host site. But there are lots of interesting classes. I know that people have taken classes on chocolate or wine, different historical aspects, different kinds of things. So if you're interested in that and you'd like some help with registration, their volunteers will be here this Friday in the classroom from 9 to 11 a.m. And one final note from the Brain Health team, the Brain Health team game day tournament that was scheduled for August 17th has been canceled. And they wanted us to let you know that. Moving into items from the rumor mill and suggestion box in no particular order. The hallway near dining smells of bacon. The hallway near the beauty salon smells of hair product chemicals. The other hallways smell of cologne and perfume heavily used by residents and staff. And the gym smells of chlorine from the pool. Can Woodland Ponds get an air filter or air scent system? This is the second time we've had a similar comment like this, and I'm thinking it might be from a newer resident because previously we never got these, and certainly somebody with a very sensitive nose. That being said, we have passed this feedback along to the design team for the renovation work, and they are looking into different types of air handling units that might be able to more thoroughly scrub some of the odors, particularly from the kitchen. So you're being listened to, and we're hearing this, and we are looking into it. This says, on the diagrams of the new pack, the backstage room to the far right appears to be a dressing room for performers. Dave Roberts said it was going to be an office for the library. Since the library has no staff, why does the library need an office space? Shouldn't that backstage remain a dressing room for performers as designed? So these are two separate spaces. And there is a completely dedicated green room, which is also known as a dressing room or a waiting room there for performers backstage. There is also a dedicated restroom backstage. In addition to that, the library committee has asked for a workspace. I wouldn't necessarily refer to it only as an office, but it's a space where they're going to be able to do their work cataloging and doing the culling of the books that they do. And again, just as we've listened to every different committee and the residents in the focus groups and so forth, this is a need that the library committee identified. It's something that we can accommodate space-wise. And if we can do that, it's a win-win. So we aren't losing a dressing room. We're adding a green room. We're adding a restroom back there. And then separately, there is going to be a workspace off of the library. But thank you for your question. Let's see. The mowing company does a good job around the cottages. However, the recycling cans in front of the cottages are often not picked up by that company, causing the cans to sit out for long periods of time, falling over and attracting animals. Instead of using that company, can Woodland Pond staff empty the garbage cans at the cottages? Rob Dunn, who is our Director of Environmental Services, is looking into alternatives for the cottage trash removal in particular. There are some more options available with the cottages, because they are in many ways treated as residential units versus the main building, which is treated as more of a commercial building, of course. And so Rob is looking into alternatives. He is just as frustrated as the residents are that the trash removal and the recycling is as intermittent as it is. So we are looking at options on that. Having our staff do it is not the best option. We don't really have the right equipment. We don't have a mechanism to pick up those big toters and transport them, to the loading dock. So the ideal would be to find an alternative carting service, and we are actively looking at that. The job duties for the new chief operating officer position seem to be your current job duties as CEO. What will be your new job duties? So they're not the same. The CEO job description is very broad in terms of what the CEO is really responsible for in terms of setting vision for the organization, taking accountability to make sure that all of the departments are running well, but really to delegate that work to the department heads. But as we're moving into a growth and a sort of a metamorphosis of Woodland Pond, there is a real need and a desire to understand how does Woodland Pond elevate from the incredible community that we are today to moving into the future in a way that makes sense for what seniors and retirees are going to be looking for as we go forward. And a lot of that is based in strategic planning, risk evaluation, succession planning, all of the things that we've really started to look at hand in hand with the expansion and renovation. And the board, combined with myself, have identified that my current number of direct reports, which is in excess of 12, and they're all at an executive level, is really just sort of unusual and has been managed well until now. But as we're looking at growing and moving into a new phase of our life cycle here at Woodland Pond, that it really makes sense for us to put in a chief operating officer position with the vision that that person would take responsibility for day-to-day oversight of the operations departments here at Woodland Pond, while also potentially being, I don't want to say groomed into, but prepared for an eventual successor to the CEO. So it's really a dual opportunity there. To be clear, the COO, or Chief Operating Officer, will directly report to me. And as it is currently described, that person will be responsible for the day-to-day operations of plant ops, which is Tom's department, environmental services, which is Rob's department, dining services, which is Phil's department, resident life, which is Jason's department, and Terrell and the tech team. All of the other departments, health center, marketing, finance, Sarah's department with resident health and wellness, and probably one or two that I'm not thinking of, plus the medical director, will continue to report to me. And there's plenty of work to do there. And then it's also going to allow me to really do those sort of visionary things that the governance of our organization, which is the board, is really looking to have happen. So it's an evolution. But yes, I will be divesting of some of the things that I'm doing to that person to have them be more of a dedicated resource. And it's also something that my exec team has recognized, that they would like more access to somebody in a leadership position than my current schedule allows. So it's really a good opportunity for both sets of folks within the organization. My neighbors are really raining on my parade about my interest in supporting the new PAC capital campaign. Any advice on how to politely tell them to bug off? Well, I wouldn't say bug off, but you're certainly welcome to. And I do appreciate you asking for the advice on how to politely ask them to bug off. You know, we are seeing mixed feelings on whether or not people are interested in potentially supporting a capital campaign to accelerate the construction of the new PAC. It's interesting. I've had a bit of feedback over the last week or two with folks, you know, sort of questioning, well, why do we need a new PAC? And then, as always happens at Woodland Pond, an equal number of complaints about the current PAC and why it doesn't meet our needs. You know, the sound's not great, nobody can see anything. So I always sort of chuckle with those kinds of things. But as with anything at Woodland Pond, you are going to hear opinions from your neighbors. And oftentimes we're seeing that those are becoming more and more strong for whatever reason. People are less inhibited. You know, maybe it's a changing of, you know, generational approaches to social communication. So it's not unusual that we would see residents, even with staff members, folks having, you know, differences of opinion on things. And, you know, I believe that that's healthy. Where it starts to become a challenge, and it seems like maybe you're feeling this, is when it turns into sort of more of the not so great healthy tension, and more of you're feeling like you're having to defend your decision or your position. And that's completely, you know, your choice and your authority and agency to do that. What I would suggest is you think about all of the reasons that you feel that supporting a potential capital campaign for the PAC is right for you, and feeling comfortable in explaining that to your neighbors that are bringing this up. You know, there's probably a pretty good possibility that they may not have thought of one of the reasons that you are interested in supporting the potential capital campaign. And it's your opportunity to kind of let them know how you come to your conclusion, if you choose to do that. I have asked for all of us to be mindful of the fact that there are people that are on every side of every issue at Woodland Pond. And just as, you know, someone may not want to feel attacked because they chose this position, maybe they don't want to be attacked because they're supporting something. Either way, you know, so just, I think you have to read the room a little bit on both sides. So, you know, if somebody's coming to you in a way that is making you feel uncomfortable, just excuse yourself from the conversation. If you do have a specific encounter with a particular resident or staff member that's particularly troubling, I would encourage you to, anytime you have that situation happen, come to any member of the executive team. We will help you navigate that. We do see differences of opinion, and as people change and Maybe filters start to fade away. That could potentially cause strife between you and your neighbor. We don't want that to happen. And if there's any way that we can help sort of lift that burden off of you, we want to do that. So please never hesitate to come to us if you're having a specific interaction with a particular resident that's uncomfortable. And we'll do our best to help you navigate that. And we just kind of have to take it day by day. But this is sort of life in a community sometimes. And we have to live with our neighbors. There's a lot of good things that come from that, but every once in a while there are certainly differences of opinion, and we're happy to help you navigate anything that we can. Let's see. I've noticed that the lapel mics in the pack keep going in and out. One of the handheld microphones seems to be louder than the other. Can new microphones be purchased? So the microphones that we have are, according to the multiple different sound engineers that we've had come in and evaluate the Performing Arts Center, right now, this is the best technology that we can get access to given the infrastructure that's in that room. And this is significantly upgraded infrastructure from where we were many years ago. We received a gift from a resident to upgrade the system. And as I recall, it was around $20,000. But the reality is that room is what that room is. And this is one of the exciting aspects of what will be happening in the new pack is the room has been completely acoustically designed, which the Performing Arts Center that we have now is just a room that has sort of an aftermarket sound system in it, not designed for that kind of use in the first place. So we're looking forward to that. When we have issues with specific mics, if you encounter that and there's not a staff member present, we would ask that you please communicate that to someone on the staff. We may not witness it ourselves. And so we really need your feedback on that. So if you encounter anything that's not working or seems like it needs an adjustment, please communicate that to one of us and we will go from there. The last thing today is it's wonderful that fruits and vegetables served in the dining room will be organic and no longer include cancer-causing pesticides. Will this information be used in marketing's advertisements for Woodland Pond? Well, I have not talked to Shannon about that. I do think that the opportunity is there, and we certainly are in the process right now of adding a sustainability page on our website. And I think that this ties into that nicely. I also feel like we've had this question before, and I've talked about this before, but at any rate, so we are working actively right now on populating a sustainability focused page on our website. And we're going to take credit for all of the good things that we're doing here on campus related to sustainability, and certainly this is one of them. That is all that I have for today. It's another beautiful, oh no, that's not all that I have for today. I forgot. Rob Dunn did ask me to remind everyone that as we continue to see sort of a level of oppressive heat, that if your housekeeper comes to your home and the thermostat is reading 75 or higher, they are not going to do your cleaning. It's just they can't do their cleaning in temperatures above 75 degrees. And it usually takes about a half an hour to get your air conditioning pumped in and running to where they need it to be at below 75. So Rob did just ask me to remind that the housekeepers are authorized by Woodland Pond to not proceed with the cleaning if the temperature in the room where the thermostat is reading above 75. Not what it's set to, but what it's actually reading. And so with that, now I'm actually done and don't have anything else for today, and I will see you next Tuesday.